Welcome, howdy y'all, and welcome to the Jonah Hex show. The Jonah Hexion Joran Vexion. For my
Commenting on
full
Jonah Hex. Is this a Dr.
introduction.
Stool movie?
Yes, I'm joining here down the lonely trail with my partners, Tio Scavin of Italy and Dwayne Holly of the fine
The stranger from the east, I guess.
But sir, I picked this movie. Ow!
Well, yes, but it was insisted that I introduce this because my name sounds similar to the title, Jonah Hex.
Which is apparently based on a DC comic book character, of which I sadly don't know that much. If I recall correctly, it has to be something from the Silver Age, where DC Comics was, more used to make stories in all time periods, like World War One or space stuff, or in this case, Western, I guess. But, Dweebs, why was this movie made in the first place, and who are the people behind it?
Fox tried to make something out of this back in 2000, but it never happened. The rights went to Warner Brothers in 2007. They wanted to make a movie because DC felt they're riding high because of the success of Batman recently. Neville Dean / Taylor, the directors of the Crank series of films and later Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance, wrote the script and were initially set to direct, but left because of creative differences with the studio, although their script was still used. So who do you get to replace him? Why, none other than one of the directors of Horton Hears a Who, Jimmy Hayward.
Well, you gotta admit, it was a very nice picture that Horton Hears a Who won. But hey, how could this possibly fail? It had Michael Shannon, William Arnett, Michael Fassbender, Megan Fox, John Malkovich, and of course, Thanos himself, Josh Brolin in the main role.
Did you mean Cable?
Either, Dweebs, don't be petty. All right.
Let's be quite honest, everyone's gonna remember him as Thanos more so.
All right, Jonah Hex, please let us start, and where to before, I think, the Warner Brothers logo.
Yep, Warner Brothers logo. All right, folks, saddle up your horses, blaze your saddles, and get ready to ride west in 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm going to ride, so riding free.
So come along and
the unexpected crossover.
What's interesting? Wait, also rather.
What's this custom logo?
Interesting rendition of the Warner Brothers theme. There. Anyway,
That's it, though, folks. I have a little fun fact for you. Hey, you know who's the producer of this movie? Akiva Goldsman.
Oh, it's from the legendary picture.
Basically, you may remember Akiva Goldsman as being the screenwriter of stuff like Cinderella Man, Robot I Am Legend, and of course, Batman and Robin.
Oh.
We are truly in good hands.
Nice touch of the fact that the DC Comics logo actually had the panels from the Jonah Hex comic.
Okay.
Okay,
so let's find out how well, quote unquote,
Weed Road Pictures? What the hell?
This film has a Rotten Tomatoes approval rating of 12%. With the
Wait, what?
Of,
serious?
Yeah, 12%. With the consensus of Josh Brolin gives it his best shot, but he can't keep the short, unfocused Jonah Hex from collapsing on the screen. Yes, a DC movie that's barely feature-length. This is 81 minutes. I mean, that's about as bare bones as you could get feature-length wise, really.
Pew pew.
Oh, and in addition to it being short, it was also kind of cheap in comparison to other superhero films.
You can see that.
This film cost $47 million, and it couldn't even make back half of that. It made worldwide $10.9 million.
You know what would be hilarious? If
Thanos is a cowboy?
Well, aside from that, the fact that, besides, a side tangent, but Josh Brolin for me will always be Mickey's brother from the Goonies, first, you know everything.
But
no, if this property of all people gets to have a representative in the special Crisis of Infinite Earths TV special from the Arrowverse. Basically, if you don't know, the Arrowverse is making one of its annual special, and it's centered around an event called Crisis of Infinite Earths based on the actual comic, but it's using it as an excuse to be essentially a family reunion of most DC properties who are not part of the DCEU. Not even kidding, there are characters from Smallville, that Birds of Prey early 2000 TV series that went nowhere, stuff from Lucifer, I think it was called.
They have Kevin freaking Smith playing a live-action Batman.
Kevin Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah. Honestly, the one thing missing maybe would be Keanu Reeves as Constantine. There is
And
a
Mark
Constantine,
Hamill
but
as
he's
the
not.
Joker.
But he's not Keanu Reeves. Anyway.
Fun fact, actually, in the Arrowverse, they actually have Mark Hamill playing one of his iconic characters, the Trickster, which has a lot of people wondering if we'll see the Trickster or even a Mark Hamill played Joker in that crossover.
This film is set during the American Civil War, as Josh Brolin plays Jonah Hex, a Confederate cavalryman.
Well, if it's any consolation,
and Jonah Hex killed his family. Charming.
Yeah, he's one of those characters with a tragic backstory.
My family is freezed.
Basically, Jonah Hex was a character made in the All-Star Western number 10 back in February from March 1972. So, roughly in the Silver Age era.
Again, yeah, just as I imagined, again, DC Comics, before and slightly after Crisis on Infinite Earths, loved to have
Michael Fassbender
as a villain. What a surprise. What's with the filter?
So yes, his family was killed and his face disfigured, and he was left for dead.
Also, interesting.
Oh, nice.
Interesting team of composers they got for this film. It was co-scored by Marco Beltrami and a heavy metal band called Mastodon.
Why? I actually listened to them. They're specialized in Viking metal. That has barely anything to do with Western.
So I'll admit, this opening is actually rather intuitive, having a bit of a nice comic book art style to it.
Wonder who was the artist for this. Oh, Jesus.
Also, again, I'm just going to imagine Thanos giving a cowboy accent for this movie because that's what it sounds like.
So basically, they condensed his origin story in the first 2 minutes. Oof.
That said, though, folks, this may be one of the better things about this movie from what I've heard.
Again, Theo, this film is so freaking short.
Again, but in general, the concept of making a movie based on this, in 2010, puzzles me because DC amongst all the DC properties, this is not the first that I will pick in terms of priorities, but it's still, not being represented in the panorama.
I mean, I can get why they wanted to do it. It was a nice breath of fresh air, and they were gearing up to start off. Would you believe that they were gearing up to start up their own DC cinematic universe with the movie coming out the next year? Yeah. So I guess this was just supposed to be a nice, fun movie. Or
Django, is that you?
Where's your chain?
The chain is silent.
If it's any consolation, though, anyway, for you Jonah Hex fans out there who don't know about it, if it's any consolation, he is on DC's Legends of Tomorrow. So that's nice.
But not played by Josh Brolin, of course.
Nah, he's played by Jonathan Scale there. And he also had a DC animated short film dedicated to him on DC Showcase. We should check that out some point because that is actually a pretty good one. It was
played by the actor who lobbied to play the live action version.
Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas Jane sadly did not get to play him in this, but he did get to play him on the DC animated short film.
Don't take kindly, you're a stranger.
Fun fact, actually, that DC animated showcase was actually features as a special feature on the Batman Under the Red Hood DVD.
Okay, interesting makeup there.
It looks a bit like the reboot Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, this is one of the points of contention, how well the scar is. Basically, the right side of Jonah Hex's face is supposed to be practically a skull with how much it's been burned here or there. Here, it's mainly, you know, a singed patch of skin and, you know, the one bit there. I don't know. What do you think, Gio?
It's I mean, it definitely is a scar, but it's just, you know, a traditional scar, a mess.
Which it's sad though that they did his scar better here than they did a certain other film that came out the same year, Tezuko. Guess 2010 was
Reeves
just
was
a year
telling me off
messing
commentary, but this was in 2010. It was the same year as The Lone Ranger. Westerns had a bad habit,
Lone Ranger was
apparently.
2013.
Oh,
Yeah,
my bad.
Lone Ranger was
Well,
2013.
and in 2011 was Aliens and Cowboys and Aliens. So I guess around that time it was still a bad series of years.
Yeah. Dang.
The way the guy yelled. Oh shit.
Okay, here's a bit of another problem here. The camera cuts are a little too sporadic.
Yeah,
So he has a fucking machine gun on his horse.
It's interesting because these kind of quick camera cuts are something you'd normally associate with Neville Dean / Taylor, and yet they didn't direct it. They only wrote the song, they didn't direct it.
As for the machine guns, Tio, that's a thing about Jonah Hex. He's one of those cowboys who is always strapped to the nines with armaments.
I mean,
sometimes
it is a Western, but I still can't believe that this is a DC property, so he has to have some superhero component.
Gotta give these guys credit for preparation. They even had someone hiding in the coffin waiting to shoot him.
Hey, now he's back in it.
It didn't have to make that much road.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the thing about Jonah Hex. Well, okay, admittedly in later incarnations, he's sort of a cowboy who has technology that's a bit ahead of its time, as in, you know stuff like machine guns, this or that. He's got it at this point here and there.
You're not worthy of that. Yeah, there, now you're the sheriff. Seriously? Oh my god.
There you go,
There. Do a good job.
You've just been promoted.
He's down in such good hands.
Is this why Thanos decides to eventually have the population because they're this corrupt?
Guess.
Okay, no, Joe, but this is why Cable went back in time, so he could make sure these
Cable went back a bit too much. Sure. Because that's what I expected a Western. Fucking Michael Bay explosions.
Okay, guys, we're 10 minutes in. First impressions?
It's a Western, Westerns to me are a bit wasted because they tend to become, unless we have something that really changes the formula, like Cowboys and Aliens, they can be a bit samey to me.
It's saying that Cowboys and Aliens,
I suppose it's the same to me through what the fantasy movies are for Shiroi. It's just something that I can't see personally.
I would recommend the 1980
canon.
Okay, now that I've gotten around to seeing it, I would actually recommend the 1980s Lone Ranger film. That's a pretty good Western.
Oh, that's a mortar. Jesus Christ, these weapons are pretty sophisticated.
Yep. The Civil War. That was when we started to see some more sophisticated weaponry over in America.
Mm-hmm. By Jove, I say. Seriously, that guy looks like classic gentleman.
Also, interesting tagline for this film on the poster: "Revenge gets ugly."
I mean, Weaves, to be honest, the one we made for Pan 2015 is still the best one.
Oh, no one cares about your darn mother?
Yes.
Okay, the music's not bad, I'll admit. I do
Well, it's
love...
Marco Beltrami. I can't think of a completely bad score for him.
And Mastodon.
At
You know,
worst, it may be unbearable. Honestly, I'm thinking Waves of Mastodon with just like the credits at the end or song for that.
I do
Oh
love
no,
how
it's
this...
rigged.
I do love how the sim follows the tradition of
Okay,
including...
Michael, what are you doing?
Magneto hasn't
I
discovered his
guess,
powers.
I guess someone pissed off Magneto way too much this time.
Magneto hasn't discovered his powers yet, you see.
Uh-oh,
Oh, shit.
mutiny!
Well, I mean, the great train heists need to be planned ahead, so... And there's a lot to pillage from this, I guess.
Yeah, Peru.
Jova, there were suicide bombers at the time of the Civil War.
Well, that's an intuitive way to.
I mean, it may be, but I don't remember if there actually were.
Also, yeah, the Civil War, where everyone wore top hats.
Because Dweebs, there was still like the gentleman's time. So it was
we still had a bit of British left in us.
It was only bowler hats and top hats, you know. Boop.
Oh.
Well, that's just rude.
Well, you know he's evil when he'll blow up a train with children
Also,
in it.
Yeah, I gotta love how the dynamite was positioned perfectly.
He's a master plan of that
What
one.
the fuck is that tower? Oh, it's the obelisk of Washington. Okay.
Yep, this was when it was sort of in the building phase.
So wait, that's supposed to be the president?
I think that's Ulysses Grant, maybe. Let me check. Yeah, that's Ulysses Grant.
Michael looks like he doesn't give a shit.
Oh my god, so we have two people from the X-Men franchise in a DC movie.
The irony is wasted.
Yeah, Josh Brolin and Michael Fassbender, you mean?
And this guy, forgot who the actor he plays by.
John Malkovich?
Oh my god, really?
Oh my god, John Malkovich!
Yeah, it is John Malkovich. Okay, he needs to do another wars to top his role as Galbatorix from Aragon, so let's see.
And, yeah, also Will Arnett.
Okay.
Sweet.
Yeah, Will Arnett, aka Batman. Lego Batman.
Yeah. Also, Jova, remind me again, because you're more into American history for obvious reasons, but if I recall correctly, FBI and CIA were founded way later, but the first official American, secret investigation agency was the Pinkerton, right?
Yep, way later.
Get it? Because he's a hole. This is stupid. This is like the ending of Medieval if you take it so seriously.
Okay, I think I can see a problem with this movie. It's a bit rushed.
Definitely. It's a Jonah Hex.
There's definitely a pacing problem to me. Sometimes the movie goes super fast, but now it's taking its sweetest time.
Whoa!
I'm not sure
okay, now
if,
that's being rude.
I'm not sure if the film was longer initially, but they cut it down.
Yeah, apparently Dweeb says that it was supposed to be longer, but we never made an extended cut.
And
Shame.
I don't know.
You see, Jova, we don't need the Snyder cut. We need an extended cut of these.
There's nothing really too bad about this. Hey there,
and there's Megan Fox in her first phase after being fired from Transformers.
She immediately goes being a prostitute. The irony is wasted again.
God. I'm sorry, Miss Fox. What was the reason you quit Transformers again?
She was fired because she called Michael Bay Hitler.
Yeah.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, no.
Ahem.
Remember the code. Just be the client and nothing else. There you go. And if you're good enough, you won't get syphilis.
Well, apparently, Warner Brothers are going to try and reboot this.
Really?
For the DCEU?
Yeah. Which
could
which
work.
to me is interesting, considering the complete failure of this movie with both critics and the box
Even
office.
in general, again, this is supposed to be a Western story. How do you fit this to make it organic with the DCEU?
I'll just have it take place in the
Okay,
past.
but to be honest, I guess Wonder Woman can make a camp. No, she appeared first in World War One, so she can't be present for this. Damn it.
Yeah, again,
Maybe a stray Amazon?
Jonah
I don't
Hex
know.
walks into the room and now they're in freaking bed drinking liquor.
Ah, yes.
It's the scarf that makes him so sexy, I guess.
But yeah, honestly, okay, props to them for rebooting this because Jonah Hex is definitely a unique superhero of sorts, It definitely does deserve another chance. And hey, at least they're not like Disney, who, at the drop of any notice, even if a movie does technically okay, will pretty much can it if it doesn't deliver spectacular numbers, and never seem to look into stuff and consider that maybe something is their fault. But I digress.
Again, I'm just surprised. I mean, like I said, this film did abysmally with everybody.
Well, there's a lot of factors to consider. It's not like the idea itself was rotten. There are a lot of good ideas with this movie. The problem lay more in the
She's into scars, I
execution.
I guess to each their kink, I suppose.
And again,
Wow.
and Jova, I haven't seen the film Neville Dean Taylor wrote and directed on like this one. After this, how was Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance?
Bad.
It's
bad.
It's way worse than the first. Believe me.
I'd honestly say that it's
they wrote this film.
It's arguably worse than this too.
Yeah.
Okay, at least I can remember.
You know the meme, Ghost Rider pisses fire in that one.
He pissed. Yeah, look, some people say that even Nicolas Cage was uncomfortable with that movie. Nicolas Cage being uncomfortable with something. Think about it.
But anyway, we're not there right now. We're here with Josh.
Yeah, speaking instead of Josh Brolin being paired with actresses with unfortunate implication, get this, Jova, if you haven't watched it, the Spike Lee Old Boy movie has Josh Brolin as the leading role, and his supposed love interest for the movie is the actress who plays Scarlet Witch in the MCU.
Oh my god. So now the line, "You took everything from me," can mean a lot in context. I don't know.
If you have I forgot which one, like 90 minutes disposal, go watch yourmoviesucks.org review of it. It's totally worthwhile every single second.
Wow.
Anyway.
So yeah, I guess these two are going to be a thing or something?
I don't know. Mr. Hex doesn't seem happy. Also, apparently, just Wynetto's Leap magically has Megan Fox's character ever. Oh shit!
Whoopsie!
At least let him keep his pants
Well,
on.
hey, here he's been inducted into military service.
Congratulations.
It's better than being arrested. Sounds like quite the tagline. Whoop.
Okay, apparently being scarred makes him a ninja. Yes, it's super reflexes.
But it's still one gun though. You shoot him, that will blow you to pieces.
Well, I guess satisfaction of killing him at least.
Yeah,
satisfaction.
I got my satisfaction.
Yeah, little things in life lives for how much short it means.
Yeah.
What a short living. Well, that would have worked as short. But yeah, I guess the reason he accepted it because, well, it's revenge. So
The very people who wronged him badly. So, Josh Brolin working with Will Arnett to bring Michael
Malkovich and
Fassbender and John Malkovich to justice.
again, this movie casting-wise was pretty much perfect. What a shame.
Yeah, it really does feel like we have mainly the script and possibly the director to blame. Not too sure about the director. Need
Well,
to see a
Jimmy
bit more
Haywood
of this
was-
movie.
Jimmy Haywood was first and foremost an animator. He never done a live action film.
Not just that to do a
And
job
he was the
as Dweebs,
director of this.
as Dweebs. Oh Jesus Christ! As Dweebs
Oh.
told, they need more testing. As Dweebs told, the director pretty much had a script to work with at the last minute or something, and he wasn't supposed to direct this.
Yeah,
Jesus,
again,
this
it was
movie.
supposed to be Neville Dean Taylor, but they dropped out. But although their scripts
Okay.
used.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, thank God Warner Brothers are giving this movie another shot because from what I'm hearing of the development, no wonder it turned out to not be that good. It seems like they barely gave it a shot.
The film he did after this was a film called Freebirds,
I think I heard that.
an animated film that has Owen Wilson in it.
Oh,
You know, it's funny. Owen Wilson as a cowboy did surprisingly work out well in Night of the Museum. Whoops.
Jesus.
I guess the Native Americans gave him that ability when they brought him back to life.
It's classic Western folklore media about the fact
What's
that
happening to him?
Oh, the guy he's talking to is dead.
Huh?
Basically, he's using some abilities that the Native Americans revived him to talk to this guy who's dead so that they can find out information that they need to know.
Oh, thank you.
again with in Western folklore, it's kind of common to give the natives, supernatural powers tied to spirits and the communication with the dead.
As for what's happening to him, Jonah Hex is using his abilities to make him still feel the pain from death.
Okay, thanks, bye. I exercise we.
That'll help the pain. Ha! Yep.
Okay.
Get the feeling you're not going to the happy place, my friend.
I don't want to go. Dead.
Hey, hey, Job. Have you ever have what about that time you got that advice from that guy who could talk to dead people?
And of course, he freaking vanishes like he's bloody Batman.
Hey, good lessons. Write that down. Write that down for Will Arnett.
Don't be in shitty DC movies ever again.
No, how to act like Batman, but yeah, that too.
Anyway, one thing that I know distinctly about this, because the year it came out, it wasn't that much ago. I distinctly remember that at least from my country, there was barely any marketing for this movie.
I never even heard
don't
of
remember.
this until like a few years ago.
There was not that much marketing either on my
Again,
neck of the woods, and that's saying something.
It didn't help, of course, that I didn't knew that much about the source material. And oh boy, well, how can I refuse? I do believe you're very rude. Seriously. No! Not this. Oh. Also, does he have a crosscar on his nose? Okay.
And that's it.
Is that a vault? Oh, it's a vault, yeah. What's there inside?
You know, I always love when westerns induct the electric guitar into their soundtracks.
Yeah, those are clearly the Mastodon. And it opens, it reveals the orange battery lantern.
Ooh, avarice.
I mean, it makes sense.
I'll say. You know, it would be nice to actually have a Green Lantern movie show off all the different cores.
What the
aside
fuck
from
is that? Golden eggs?
I thought there were only 7 Dragon Balls.
Wait, are those hover boxes?
Maybe.
I was gonna say that. As far as I can see, Jimmy Haywood hasn't done much of anything after the next film he did.
About that.
Batista? Is that you? The
Wouldn't
Joker?
that be quite
Is that you? Oh no, it's Barakapool.
It's a reunion!
Oh shite. What the fuck? So, illegal freak show fighting? Jesus.
See the end of the fight.
Dead. Oh, they actually were nice enough to give a weapon.
Isn't that cheating?
Ooh. Well, it's in favor of people who bet the most.
Especially people who want to liven up the deal in the show.
That too. Whoop. Jesus.
Oh boy, acid. Yep. It's like a mutant fight of sorts.
I mean, this universe is established with our meta-humans. We need to just not discover the mutants in the Marvel universe, of course, but weird.
I guess it's interesting to showcase that there may have been superpowered beings even back then.
Yeah. Oh. Oh no.
Well, sucks to be him. And meanwhile, in the background, a guy is getting his face probably melted in.
Oop.
In you go!
Have fun.
Wait, no, I'm just a bystander.
Oh. Poor dog.
This film could have been better if it were like 20 minutes longer or something.
Yeah, it definitely does have a... Uh-oh.
Good boy.
Okay, Jonah, we need to talk about you leaving things up in flames. I don't know if it's healthy for you.
It's like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX average. I got it! Arson!
I guess the dog took a liking to him.
I mean, yeah. Come on. Oh.
Yeah, the dog's smart and knows not to go in. Ain't no good business to be done in a cemetery.
So what's he gonna do? Converse with the dead and ask him, do you know where this guy is?
Pretty much.
Probably.
He just needs to find the right tomb. But...
Excuse me, do you know where this tomb is?
It's about 100 feet in, a left turn at the crypt.
Not just that, he needs to hope that the corpse actually corresponds.
That too.
Let's see. Here lies the Schneider cut. Oh, what a terrible fate.
Here lies... Oh.
Any hope this film had a sequel?
Yeah. The actual series based on that Wonder Woman pilot.
And here lies the DC animated, the DC live action universe that was supposed to start with the Green Lantern 2011 film.
Yeah. Yeah, whack him.
Well, that's quite a rude awakening.
Okay, now let's try again, I guess.
I'll admit, this is actually an interesting concept, you know, how he converses with the dead and all.
What happens when he becomes dead himself?
Okay, seriously, dude. We need to try it another way.
Seriously, I just want to lie in bed all dead and all, and you keep bringing me back.
Yeah.
So the guy's dead.
Jonah can bring him back temporarily.
Oh, yeah, dead. Yeah, Jonah don't stand for no burning down hospitals.
Just every other building is fine, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, life can be unpredictable.
Okay, how many more shots back to back the phase do we need? Oh, now it flies up.
Don't you love shot, reverse shot, reverse shot?
I mean, it is fine, but this one went away just a tad too much. Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, sweet prince.
Oh boy.
Bye. Oh.
Well,
You know, again, stuff like that is an interesting concept. Oh, hey, Leela.
You're gonna have a
This
point,
character's name.
aside from boobs.
Oh, I just realised. Will Arnett.
Oh, let's see. The usual, you don't know me. I
You
think
think
you're
you
in
know
it all for the
me.
money. Well, I'm more than that. You think you know me? Ha!
Yeah, I just
Dun, dun,
realised
dun.
something again.
Yeah.
What?
Will Arnett and Megan Fox in a movie together.
What is that reminding you of something?
The 2 recent Ninja Turtles movies.
Wait, Will Arnett was in those?
Yeah.
I forgot. Oh snap! This fox can fight.
You killed
Oh,
me.
no bullets.
Good. Terrible
That's right.
one-liner.
That's right. She may be a prostitute, but she ain't much for being known. She's a free spirit.
Except when she needs to pair.
There's Lance Reddick.
Oh my
aka
God,
What are
Lance
you doing
Reddick.
here,
the
dude?
concierge from John Wick and someone off Quantum Break.
Yeah, the supposed mastermind bad guy who had barely any foreshadowing.
Uh-huh. He's Jonah Hex's weapon provider here.
So kind of like Lucius Fox.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell are those? They look cool, that's for sure, but the crossbows?
Gun/crossbows.
Man, this is what even in the Western time we call having too much free time.
Again, the cast of this movie is pretty good, and the acting is actually pretty stellar.
I
I'll
would
give
say
them this.
that Josh Brolin tends to be very monotone due to the nature of the character.
There is quite a lot
Yeah.
of "how's you know" moments. Like he just
That too.
like what's going on here. He's like, I know you fought for the South because you never liked the government, but why do you hate the Union? And he was like, oh, well, both sides are a bunch of hypocrites.
I mean, yeah, it is. That is sadly the truth. While the Union were the ones fighting for slavery freedom, there was a lot of hypocrisy still there. And that's not to say that there weren't good people on the Confederate side either. So I guess this is actually in the aftermath of the Civil War.
I suppose.
Since Ulysses Grant is the president and all that. But yeah, I think the major.
The American Civil War is not really my forte, but go on, Joe.
I think the major problem with this movie is, like you guys have said, the short length of it. Like, they really do have to rush quite a few things, and they have to resort.
The mark, apparently.
Yeah, and they have to resort to a lot of as you knows because of a short length. Like, dang, I really think that if this movie actually got the budget and the length that it deserved, this could have been a lot better. That and better marketing, because yeah, I recall this maybe getting showed every once and then, but not that much marketing.
We're talking about, guys. This is going to be the linchpin of HBO Max, the new streaming service for
I'm just hoping that with the redo of the movie that they get it right this time. It's weird though. Like, of all movies, why this one did they want to shorten down to such a short length? Usually
No, Trevor, did you see? They're going to cut this budget. They're going to cut the budget in half, and it'll be only 60 minutes.
And then watch it somehow be a masterpiece. Well, just like Joker, which had supposedly a low budget but ended up being a stellar success.
Blueprints for new type of canons. Oh, please don't tell me this is the same. This is the same plot of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh my god. The movie, I mean. These people are somehow knowing technology enough to build weapons that should be like in World War One.
From what I can tell, this is like the low in terms of like films with Michael Fassbender in them. This is apparently I'm going to check Rotten Tomatoes just to be sure, but apparently this is the film with the lowest Rotten Tomatoes score.
12% is quite a contender.
Okay, you know, to be more on the Western point, this reminds me also of fucking Wild Wild West.
Oh my god, you're right. It doesn't have a mechanical spider, but
Although actually, no, I've checked. His lowest rated movie was The Snowman.
never heard. Oh, that movie.
The one that was released unfinished.
Yeah, how low does it get?
7%.
Jeez. But yeah, that still begs the question: why leaving all the blueprints without protection?
Almost like it's part of a sinister plot.
Oh, hello, John. Yeah, I definitely get that Josh Brolin is trying to channel Clint Eastwood.
They meet each other again, and how long are we in the movie?
Halfway through. They throw dynamite sticks.
Again, that's the problem with the short length. It feels like we should be seeing him until a bit later on if this were a longer movie.
And yes, these are definitely Mastodon playing again.
So okay,
what a bizarre choice.
I think I definitely would say that the music is definitely one of the higher points of this movie.
Oh well, to be honest, Joe, if you haven't listened to them, they do play good. They are a good band.
They're not like one of those, death metal rock bands.
If you don't remember, I did insert a small clip during the Family 7 playthrough. Surprisingly, YouTube didn't caught that.
Oh, that bit.
White Whale, Holy Grail. The official name of the song is called Blood and Thunder. But...
Okay, I would burp to get a drink, but I'll probably miss the rest of the movie.
I'll admit the action is surprisingly shot well for something that's, at dark.
Oh no, Michael Fassbender is confused.
I can't tell if he's trying to go for a refined gentleman accent, or if he's just struggling trying to put on an American accent.
Actually, now that I think about it, considering how the Arkham formula is being perfected and everything, why can't WB Games make a game based on this property? It has all the potential to do it. The different gadgets, the different abilities, cleaning up force, and all these other missions, Red Dead Redemption style.
Yeah, it's true. Just combine Red Dead Redemption with the Arkham formula, and bam.
Oop.
Okay, I'll burp.
Go on.
But yeah, like I said,
Please, Mr.
usually trying to
don't hit me.
Up.
Also, apparently, from what I checked, Josh Brolin wasn't liking the script at all at first.
For this movie?
Yeah, but apparently started to mellowing out after seeing the one-liner.
I mean, the script isn't terrible. Again,
I would say that our protagonist is not the best one in terms of delivery and tone.
Definitely. I think I'd say the major problem with this movie is just that it feels way too short. Like, it's hard for me to get a feel of this movie.
Oh, shit.
Uh-oh. Okay, Michael Fassbender is...
At least he's having fun.
It feels like he's trying to join the league with this movie.
Put this in perspective. Not even in Dark Phoenix he was trying to do that.
Well, I guess we can say, honestly...
Also, I'm sorry, that fuse is taking way too long. I'm sorry.
Honestly, I can see why he'd have more fun with this movie than Dark Phoenix. Like, yeah, this has a lower Rotten Tomatoes score than Dark Phoenix, but I honestly would think that this is a better film than Dark Phoenix.
Exploded.
Huh. You know, men, there used to be a good point when the people you wronged would just stay dead. But no, now they're coming back to life with their old supernatural powers. Okay, you know who Michael Fassbender is? He is the bullseye of this movie.
Kinda.
Funny accent, having the time of his life, but he is just,
Enjoying
he
it.
just works for this movie.
Yeah. And he's not even like the main bad guy, it's just like the second in
Oh,
command.
God damn it, I missed the movie.
Oh god, no, Dweebs, you actually missed a great scene. Michael Fassbender went all bullseye on us here.
Right.
Complete with the
You're the
accent and
winning criminal.
everything.
Dude.
Thanos, you tired there? Oh wait, maybe this is him off to go be a farmer like he planned.
Either that
Well-
or this is him recovering.
Oh, the floor tastes funny.
No, did you see, Jamie? This is him recovering from the surgery to become Cable.
Well. Oh no, what the
He
hell
had
is
extensive
happening?
plastic surgery, don't you know?
Uh-oh, I think he may be about to join the land of the dead.
Yeah, I can't even though. It just feels so unearned.
Oh.
Yeah, again, Dribs, while you're away, me and Joe were discussing how Michael Fassbender seems to be having more fun here than he did in Dark Phoenix. It's like, honestly, you have to wonder if a lot
Wait,
of what
what?
this... What?
Oh, I guess it's a dream sequence or something.
I guess.
Did we skip a scene?
No.
It's a dream sequence.
I mean, he's on the verge of death, I guess, so...
Damn it, Jimmy, stop with the camera cutting. Okay, I swear, it's like...
Oh, there
it's
we
like
go.
Neville Dean Taylor. Remember, Neville Dean Taylor, the guy's known for doing cuts like that. They dropped out of the films. It's like they told him, okay, Jimmy, do this.
Huh.
Also, the CGI crawls weren't exactly the best. Also, what the hell are you... Oh, filtrated water.
Yes, this was back before water filtration was in its prime.
Oh, they're experimenting with the mortar. If your goal was to... Also, that CGI. If your goal was to center one of the houses, you will have terrible aim. Also, I still don't get what the hell is that supposed to be.
Huh.
What is that?
Oh, those
With-
were test ones.
You will fire when ready.
Oh, and it cuts away. We don't get to see it.
That's bullshit. No, I think we're about to.
Oh, sorry. I thought. Oh no, wait. They do this scene. They're cutting between the aftermath and while it's happening. That's so freaking weird.
It kind of fits. A lot of comic books actually have that kind of narrative.
It's a way of,
What, cutting
showcase it.
Cutting between the stuff that's
Two
about to
time
happen
frames,
and the
yes.
aftermath.
Yeah.
It can work, honestly. Have them voice over what happened back then and there. So, that golden orb. Let's see what that can do.
What the fuck?
Okay. That looks us it off. Oh, John. Well, okay, yeah. John's definitely giving a better performance than he
Now
did in
he's-
that other movie we
he's-
saw him
now
in.
he's singing.
Yeah, like I said, Michael Fassbender is kind of the bullseye of this movie. He's got a nice Scottish accent. He's kooky and crazy, but well refined and gentlemanlike, and is willing to educate Jonah Hex in staying dead.
Also, I just discovered that the corpse of that Jonah Hex resurrected in the cemetery. He's uncredited, but it was Jeffrey D. Morgan, Jova Negan from The Walking Dead.
Wow, how fitting.
I suppose.
Uh-oh. Right. It seems that Burke was instructed to kidnap something that Jonah Hex
Ooh.
loves. And what he loves is apparently Megan Fox. I mean, Lila.
Dude.
Top of the morning for a lovely,
Wait, I
bright
thought
kidnapping.
She was still conscious, though, wasn't she? It didn't show her getting knocked out.
Oh, he just carried her over the shoulder.
She wasn't struggling or anything. I mean, the least she could do is struggle a bit, but no, she wasn't even doing that.
I get the feeling that they went on the first take and the director just said cut after that.
Well, again, I mean, considering the low budget and the low running time.
Oh, the doggo!
Wake up, Josh, your career isn't dead yet.
There's still so much more what you can do.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is before Joss knew he was getting into the MCU, wasn't
It was 2 years before they casted him officially as
I don't think
Thanos.
he played Thanos in the first Avengers. I think he was after that.
No. They had someone completely different lined up to play Thanos, actually.
Huh.
Forget who the guy who played Thanos in Avengers was called.
But,
resurrected by the natives, of course.
With much drugs.
No, Tio, it's just magic smoke, yes.
you know
called
what, Jimmy, this
peyote.
reminds- you know what this is like to me?
What?
Oh, he was also in love with a native. That's
It's
why.
like a cut down version of the Lone Ranger. I mean, guys on a revenge mission to avenge his family who were killed. He's going after a guy who is ruthless.
And he's brought back to life through some native magic. It's hard for me to say. Whereas Lone Ranger was long.
Lone Ranger.
It's weird. Whereas Lone Ranger was long, but wasted most of its time, unfortunately, just making fun of Lone Ranger's mask. This movie likes to get to the point, but unfortunately ends up skipping up on a lot.
I can definitely see why this only has a 12% rating.
I mean, okay.
I'll reserve that for my final thoughts.
I'll say it right now. It doesn't feel like that bad a movie, but I think the reason it may have had such a low percent on Rotten Tomatoes is because, it feels like we're not getting a full plot, but more so snippets of a plot cobbled together into this. Oh God!
Holy fuck!
Oh God! Oh wow!
Oh the fuck! Why did you say that name?
Again, it's like bloody.
Okay, I think that there just sums it up right there. This movie is way too rushed for its own good. So he's sending a telegraph to inform the enforcements about that.
On the 4th, we're planning on attacking on the 4th of July.
To send a message, of course. Go figure. Yes. Okay. Basically, the 4th of July is when we Americans celebrate the day that we declared our independence from Britain.
Well, in this film, if you don't hurry up, you're not going to have much of a celebration.
Yeah. So we're already at the climax.
Pretty much.
Again, that's the thing. I don't think... Okay, if this movie were much longer, I wouldn't call it bad. It's just I think the major problem with this
interesting
movie...
transitional music.
Yeah, that was very interesting. The main problem is, it just feels like we don't have the completeness of a movie, I think.
I dread to think what the climax is going to be like. It's just going to be him throwing one punch and then that's it, he dies.
But Dwibs, it's subversive. Don't you love that?
No.
Neither do I. Well, okay, it works with
Oh.
something like the Mysterio fight in Spider-Man 2, the video game.
And Mysterio in Far From Home.
Yeah.
It's different to how he's normally portrayed, but it's still in keeping.
To be honest, Lives,
Yeah.
it was one single punch was not enough. Whoosh.
No, Tia, what was enough was one single shot. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm just gonna add that. I'm just gonna add that to the list of things that may have had just one take, and they said, "Okay, we're good."
What the fuck is also? Oh right, they're building their battleship.
Yeah, that's right. Battleships were actually a thing as early as the American Civil War, believe it or
Well,
not.
apparently, according to the blueprints, this is a new model with more sophisticated weapons.
Yep. It's one of those sort of historical plots where the bad guy comes up with something that is technologically advanced for its time.
I actually don't mind that.
I'll give it this: it does it better than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which
Yeah.
just didn't make any
Honestly,
bloody sense.
it seems to be doing the trick of spicing things up for the average Western.
Now, random rich guy is dead.
Because
he was like, I love what he said though. Yeah, I don't want to be hanged. That's a fate I wish to avoid.
Wish granted.
Funnily enough, Tio,
yeah,
Mastodon's guitarist vocalist Brett Hines is made a cameo in this movie.
I haven't seen him, his appearance in a long time. So I wasn't. If he hasn't showed up, if he had already showed up, I didn't recognize him.
Also, I'm actually wondering, when was the last time a major motion picture that had at least co-scoring credit to a band had been successful at the box office? I mean, the closest
Iron Man 2,
band, not
ICDC.
Yeah.
No, I meant financially successful.
Yeah,
Iron Man was financially
No,
successful.
I meant music. Music composed for the movie by a band, not their tracks just taken from the CD and put in the film.
Also, we use the sock sound effect.
I guess Mamma Mia.
No. I mean, like Daft Punk, for example.
Okay, Libs, how much of a true Scotsman are you turning this into?
I'm trying to explain it. It's just
Whatever. Anyway, fight scene with Michael Fassbender.
Oof.
Again, I'll give Fassbender this. He seems like he's having the time of his life.
Everyone
with this
is like
movie.
ninja reflexes in this movie.
The problem is the freaking camera cuts.
Now that's annoying.
I don't mean to shift goalposts. I was just trying to explain it. It's just, well.
Oh.
Okay, now he's Ghost Rider.
Flaming pun.
Nah, not necessarily.
Oh no.
Of course he goes out laughing. That's kind of a sadly anticlimactic way. Wait, seriously? That's all? Just a bit of blood from the back of his head?
I guess this is PG.
Oh, he's still alive.
Yeah, you can revive him.
Oh yeah, that's right. You make him feel some pain on the way out. Okay, that was a better way now.
Yeah.
Okay, movie, you managed to salvage the moment. For a moment, I was afraid you were going to have him go out mundane-like, but you saved it there.
What was the rating of this? PG-13?
15.
PG-13, yeah.
It was rated 15 round here.
PG-13 over here.
Let me check. Jonah Hex American film rating.
Mm-hmm. And that is to get rich and
get rich
take
is
over.
get rich is.
Okay, the BBFC rated this film R1 as
Oh,
15.
right. There are a bunch of Confederates who are not happy with the outcome of the Civil War, of course.
What's the American Ratings Board called?
I don't really know.
Don't worry, I'll check it.
Oops. I got that one thing you love, Hex.
And I got a shotgun.
Now we're gonna kill someone who you've had like one scene with.
But you apparently love. Yeah, not gonna lie, this just...
PG-13, that's the equivalent of a 12 rating, and yet this film got a 15 rating round here.
Yep, PG-13.
And yet it's 15
I mean...
here, so you could be younger in the States to watch this film in cinemas.
Oof. But at
It's
least
quite-
they didn't kill there, actually.
Yeah, it's quite clear that they're going for that PG-13 sort of feeling, you know. Very violent, but not to the point where there's gore of high caliber.
As a 12, and if they're trying to appeal to
Stream.
that,
Even a
they kinda
fucking
failed
periscope.
Oh yeah, that's right. Did I mention that the first submarines were made around the time of the Civil War, actually?
I thought it was after Jules Verne wrote 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No. Believe it or not, during the Civil War, they made, you know, something of a submarine. Obviously, it couldn't go completely underwater,
Oh,
and they
of course,
were
the
incredibly
blacksmith has
tiny
kids.
and wooden.
Oh my god, is that the pun that he's the blacksmith? If so, that is kind of tasteless. I hope it's not. Also, what's with the camera cuts?
I guess the movie's just decided that
Still
you're
trying to
now...
be tasteful.
I'll be honest, I don't think Megan Fox's acting is really all that much better from performance.
Well, Dweebs, that's a hot take right there. How? She's a prostitute. Doesn't mean she's the master of unlocking.
Well, don't you see, Tio? We had an earlier scene to establish that she's quite capable.
So it's treason then. Okay. Let's see what it is.
So are the government forces gonna open fire?
Does it function like a Rube Goldberg machine? Dun, 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 dun.
Government forces, are you going to open
That's
fire?
like that's a BFG machine gun. Holy shit.
Okay, now we should open fire. Well, actually, trying to
And then
remember.
we have the special Dragon Ball to detonate the hours. Now I get it how it's working.
So it's a very explosive material.
Oh shit.
As for opening fire, Dwibs, it wasn't one of those kind of ships that had a gun on it. Sadly.
It was
Or
a
if it-
player that they prone, I think.
If it did have a gun, then it wouldn't have gone up against that ship.
Alright, simultaneous takedown. Oh yeah!
This isn't my fetish, miss! Oh yeah, she is capable.
I do
We've never seen her
legitimately
use a gun
wonder-
before,
I
but I guess she
legitimately
can.
wonder if Mastodon were included in the cutting of the movie, in a sense of bringing the music after. They decided to cut it in a 70-minute movie, 82, sorry, 81-minute movie. For the sake, because apparently they reported that the reason we made the cut was to make it more action-oriented, apparently. So I do wonder if Mastodon were brought in to make it more cool as a result.
Again, the action scenes for this are pretty good, especially with
Flamethrower,
some of the
really?
more, yeah, a flamethrower gun. Again, I'll admit I do like a lot of the gadgetry at play here.
Hello. Seriously, Megan, I get it.
Oh god, okay, seriously, why does she always do that open mouth stare thing? I never get why she does that.
Jammed.
That's her acting, I guess.
Uh-oh.
Of course, we have to wrestle in the arming chamber.
3. 4.
No, not the capital!
Oh, shit.
Dang, that could have hurt somebody. You know, it's funny. I don't remember this being in the history books.
Then Washington, D.C. was completely destroyed. Okay,
Oh, he's getting
so
PTSD from the baton.
apparently his striking has the power to cut the scene.
No, not the obelisk.
Jova.
Yes.
Hitting people with something can cause the scene to change.
So it would seem.
Did you know
So,
that?
oh, that's his imaginary battle. Like it's fighting death, and that is the appearance of his enemy. No. Come on.
Are you sure Mastodon weren't recording their new album or something?
Possible. Oof. Come on. It's over, partner.
I've got the higher ground. Huh. Well, that's exactly what I need.
See, now he started winning in his imaginary battle as well. Jeez, this symbolism. Great aim, I guess. Headbutt him.
How do you like your death, partner?
Oh. Oh no.
This ought to grind your gears something fierce.
Get it? It's ironic. He's dead by his own technology.
As soon as that gives, well, let's just say.
Alright, here we go. Pew 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 pew. Also, side note, gotta love that Megan Fox actually couldn't manage to get out of her situation, and she actually wait until Jonah Hex rescued her.
She's capable still, though.
Oh, so.
Happy 4th of July.
Because maybe you're a firework.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, not
And
really.
cut to black.
Cut to the credits.
No.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
Oh, a full pardon. Nice. Won't you consider being the sheriff of what? Of what? The entire country, I guess?
The sheriff of the whole country. Is that even possible?
No, as far as I know.
Oh, he actually... nah. Of course he rejects it. Then why not just accept it then? I mean, he didn't say which place you were going to be sheriff of anyway.
You know, Jovan, now that I think about it, Western movie. Oh, Jesus, that shot. Western movie that barely had any marketing and nobody know about it. With potential questionable quality of it. It's literally embodiment of that meme with the dog with the cowboy hat that says, "Would just do you think? Why do you think you want to just scroll down without saying howdy?" It literally is that.
Oh,
That's it.
really? Does he even go to his wife's grave?
Hey, but the dog is still there.
But he wanted to apologize for Jebs' father's death. Wait, is that it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I guess that implies you're immortal or
And the
something.
movie explodes.
You know, Tio,
What a
now that you think
bizarre-
about it, if we work in the devil, this could be a prequel to Ghost Rider.
Kinda.
The story
What
also
a
had another
bizarre
detail
movie.
about him, but I don't know what else he's done.
Alright, I'll go
Ah.
first for my fan thoughts. This is surprisingly harmless at worst, I would say. Yes, it has the problem of pacing and the Chakachirion cuts, but to be honest, it's perfectly serviceable as a short movie.
Matt LeBlanc was an
Matt
executive
LeBlanc.
producer.
Matthew LeBlanc? Okay, so I guess he was sick of being in terrible DC movies and decided he wanted to produce one.
But
Not-
still, I understand that the product should have been even better than it is right now. So we'll see what happens with the DCEU. But otherwise, this is that kind of Western that I was mentioning before, the one that may actually pique my interest because of the unique things in it. In this case, the technology applied to it. It was stupid in Wild Wild West, but here is actually surprisingly more interesting. Problem is that some of the characters don't get a time to shine. All Megan Fox's character barely, and I wish I could see a bit more Michael Fassbender. But
what about Will Arnett's character?
yeah, that too. But honestly, everything else checks out. Honestly, don't think it deserved a 12%. At worst, maybe a 35. But even then, I would still say it's too harsh on it. Again, there's nothing, aside from just those cut from it, there's nothing really wrong with it. Even the acting seems to be checking. Yes, Josh Brolin is tries to way too hard to be Clint Eastwood, but that's the character, I guess. So I don't think there's any consistent bad performance here. So, well, okay, Megan Fox, I guess, but that's Megan Fox. But no, honestly, this is fine to me. Maybe not stellar and definitely better, but this is fine. Gibbs?
Okay, I've checked. There's no post-credit scene.
Jordan Action will not be revived in modern time to fight for the Justice League.
You know,
Go on, Gemma.
I love how one of the characters in the credits is called Dumbass Bystander.
Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to mention for the music. I was hesitant at first knowing that Mastodon was involved in this, but they surprisingly fit. I don't know how.
Electric guitar users
know.
seem to work pretty well with Western folks from what I've seen.
True, but Mastodon normal style is not usually like this. They adopted a particular approach for this, but they say it works for the best. But anyway, I'm done. Lives
Well, that was certainly a movie.
a movie. Are you sure about that?
I mean, barely. I mean, it's barely any longer than like an average. Well, I mean, I think some TV movies are a little longer than this.
Ouch.
I think even that recent Invader Zim movie was a bit longer. I don't know.
Enter the Floor Pussy, yeah.
I don't know though. But again, it was just a film. It wasn't particularly good. It wasn't god awful. The biggest problem was the bloody pacing. It goes by
Definitely.
so bloody fast. It feels like the scenes missing. I've got a couple of characters, especially bringing Megan Fox's. Is only on screen. I think she's in like 5 minutes total in this movie.
Yeah, and she's supposed to apparently be the love interest.
Yeah, this is one of the worst love interests I've ever seen, mainly because she's barely in the freaking thing. And really the best part of it was Michael Fassbender. You know,
Oh yeah,
the wacky sidekick.
Yeah.
you know, Dwibs, how bad is it that he seemed to have fun in this, but he didn't have fun in Dark Phoenix?
Well, to be fair, Joe, I don't think many were having fun aside from the train scene.
It just goes to what I say. Even though this has a lesser Rotten Tomato score, I think this is a better movie than Dark Phoenix.
Well, I mean, Dark Phoenix's pacing was a bit better.
Wow, yeah, but at what cost? It had worse story, worse writing, worse characters. Pretty much everything but the pacing was worse there, arguably.
I'd argue Megan Fox's character was worse because, again,
Okay, that's one actress.
and character too. Remember, runtime
Fair
and
enough.
screen time forever. That. I mean, Josh Brolin, again, you know, he's fine. He does his shtick and he does it well. It's just, well, I mean, we barely know anything about him, but we know he has a dead family, and he can revive people from the dead for a bit. And he's a cowboy.
Weird how we don't even focus that much on the natives who brought him back to life. Like, at least Lone Ranger did that.
Yeah, I mean, the natives, they flash a bit on screen, and then as soon as he recovers, he just runs off.
No, let's not forget that ever majestic way that he recovers from that bad dream, and then a crow literally coming from his throat, out of his mouth,
weird.
his eyes shining yellow like he's Azazel, and then he screams for Turnbull's head.
He just rides off on his horse like nothing happened.
Yeah, but next is literally him giving a telegram.
Okay, and that's about it. By all standards, okay, the music's fine as well. By all standards, you know, it's I can't say it's a good movie because it's not. It's the pacing. It's just the pacing that crumbles the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's bad enough the film's barely feature length, 81 minutes, but rushing through it. Why not? It's like they made a movie that was going to be longer, but they trimmed it down, or the director was high and made them do everything faster. I don't know. Anyway, that's just speculation, but I'm done. It's the movie.
Yeah.
I think I like to consider this movie something of a. Well, it's hard to say. I don't know if I should call it a noble failure, but it definitely doesn't feel like a horrible failure. It feels like somewhere in between. Like, it feels like a failure that definitely did not need to be a failure. Okay, the directing isn't too bad. It seems serviceable. The acting, for the most part, seems pretty good, except for Megan Fox. I'm sorry, she keeps giving this dull-looking face throughout, and I really have a hard time buying her character. Probably just enough that her character gets a little screen time, but hey, in the little bits, she could have done better. I digress. Michael Fassbender definitely seems like the one who's having the most fun with this movie. He is, like I said, he is the bullseye of this movie. He's got the quirky Scottish accent and everything. He's so quirky, and he dies laughing. Wow, okay, the first time around he dies laughing, thinking he's gonna get off easy. It's a nice bit of subversion there when Hex then brings him back from the dead just to have him slowly and painfully suffer before knocking him out and causing him to explode with a punch.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give this movie credit. It can be very quite creative and intuitive with a lot of the ideas it has here and there too. Lance Hendrick's character, yeah, he seems good, but then he's only there for like 2 scenes. Like, for someone who's supposed to be the equivalent to the Lucius Fox, it feels like we should have known more. In fact, that sort of ties into the the villains have enough presence, I guess. I think a lot of the problems that this movie has can be tied into some of the worst I've ever seen in a movie. Like, it's weird. Like, the script seems fine, honestly. You know, some dodgier things aside, the action is actually relatively well. I did get a kick out of quite a few scenes here. The problem is that the pacing is so bad that it feels like we're watching a clip show at times. Like, at times, this feels like a best of moments of a movie rather than the actual full movie itself. Dweebs, you mentioned that the script was rushed, apparently?
No, I meant it was written, but the guys who wrote it were supposed to direct it, but they dropped out, but they kept the script.
Oh, okay then.
Also, apparently I'm checking here, Java. According to TV Tropes, the whole resurrection power thing was added for the movie.
Yeah, well, that's not really how Jonah Hex
resembles the comic.
Yeah, that's not really how Jonah Hex works in the comics, but I didn't really point that out because, you know, it's kind of small potatoes, and, you know, I get why they may want to add a little supernatural element to Jonah Hex or whatnot. It's one of the lesser evils this movie does, and if anything, like I said, the way it uses those powers is actually pretty creative here and there. Jonah Hex is one of those characters who you have a bit more liberty to work with, if only because his appearances can be rather sparse here and there. He's not ingrained into our know-how like Superman, Batman, or Wonder Woman is, sadly.
If you keep your final thoughts going on, this film will probably be more. This commentary will be more feature-length for the movie.
That's usually what happens with most of our commentaries. With.
Yeah, especially our Dark Phoenix one. But yeah, I mean, again, this movie isn't what I would call all that terrible. Now, I can see why people would think that it's bad, but it's not bad in the traditional sense, like, you know, oh, it's god-awful, or it's hard to watch, or oh my god, it's a terrible product. It's bad in the sense that the pacing alone manages to take a hatchet to it to the point where it doesn't feel like a complete story. Like, certain scenes that would have been integral we're just told about. They resort quite a lot to the as you know stuff because they have to make up for scenes that are missing here or there. And as a result, we don't get as much exposition as we could use. We don't get to know as much about the characters as we would like to know or see. And as a result, it does make it feel like it's not a roller coaster, but it feels like a roller coaster with sections of a track missing. And the film is like the car constantly jumping between track and praying to God that it lands back on the track like a roller coaster tycoon free project.
In fact, Jovi, you just reminded me of something else.
What?
A film with Michael Fassbender in it that goes by a bit too quickly, that feels like it has scenes missing. It's The Snowman. It's 7 years early.
Okay, I've got to see this film that you keep mentioning, The Snowman.
It's that might be my Christmas pick.
Is it that bad?
It has a 7% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was released unfinished.
Literally unfinished?
Yes.
Okay, that'll be interesting for another story. But yeah, again, the story with this film is like, well, it's weird how this feels like it has the exact opposite problem of Lone Ranger. Whereas Lone Ranger has the runtime length, Lone Ranger wasted a lot of its time, you know, not doing important stuff. Whereas this movie does get technically the most important stuff to there. The problem is that it's lacking in substance, like as an actual runtime length to show other stuff that would be important to that plot here. Which is really a shame because I think they could have had something good going here. They've definitely got a good cast here and there. Imagine if this had become a running film series and Josh Brolin was busy with this.
Oh, God.
Hey, maybe that'll make for a good what if.
Yeah, what if? Yeah, Josh Brolin's career never recovered.
Yeah, thankfully I can say pretty much all the actors except for Megan Fox. I don't know what she's doing these days.
I don't know either.
It seems like most of the actors managed to still find their footing after this movie, so it's not like this movie tanked their careers or anything. And honestly, why should it? I mean, like I said, it's not like the movie is trash. Like, if you're looking for a good
time waster.
80-something minute time waster here. This is the movie for you.
Jover, that's the thing. It's barely even a time waster. It doesn't last that long. It's like a freaking clip show.
If like you're taking an hour break or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, if your lunch break is long enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this movie isn't the worst. It's just ungodly short, and that is definitely the biggest problem with it.
And there we are, we hit the 90-minute mark.
Oh god, we have, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was not epic enough, unfortunately, to gather an audience, but it wasn't terrible enough to even be remembered that much. Heck, if you forgot this thing existed, I wouldn't blame you. This thing barely got any recognition in media.
Oh, aside from having a pretty abysmal Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay then.
So
that
I
was
guess
the
we'll
Lone
see.
Ranger.
I guess we'll see you for.
I mean, Jonah Hex.
I guess we'll see you for, I don't know, Constantine maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Whatever other DC live action flicks there are out there, and we'll see you for when this film eventually gets rebooted.
and we'll see you for a film that feels more feature length.
See ya.
See ya.